for all.
And because of it,
You're on your own, soldier.
troubled, because I had seen that vision. End of chapter 90. Read by CJ Cloak. Section 15. Translated by Robert Henry James. This book of Oxford is in the public domain. Chapters 91 through 97.
Trash.
Chapter 92 through 105. Chapter 92, all 91. Verses 1 through 10 and verses 18 through 19. Enoch's Book of Admonition for his children. Chapter 92. The book written by Enoch. Enoch indeed wrote this complete doctrine of wisdom, which is praised of all men and the judge of all the earth, for all my children who shall dwell on the earth, and for the future generations who shall observe uprightness and peace. Let not your spirit be troubled on account of the times. The great one has appointed days for all things. The righteous one shall arise and walk in the paths of righteousness, and all his path and conversation shall be in eternal goodness and grace. He will be gracious to the righteous, and he will give him power so that he shall be endowed with goodness. He shall walk in eternal light, and sin shall perish and shall no more be seen from that day forevermore. Chapter 91, verses 1 through 11 and 18 through 19. Enoch's admonition.
Oh wow, you're done.
Chapter 91. And now my son Methuselah called to me all the sons of my mother, for the word calls me, and the spirit is everything that shall befall you forever. And there
Enemy, you are trash.
brothers, and his relatives. And he spake unto all the children of righteousness, and said, Hear ye, sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hearken aright to the voice of my mouth. For I exhort you, and say unto you, beloved, love uprightness, and walk therein. And draw not nigh to uprightness with a double heart, and associate not with those of a double heart. But walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on good paths, and righteousness shall be your companion. For I know that violence must increase on the earth, and a great chastisement be executed on the earth, and all unrighteousness come to an end. Yea, it shall be cut off from its roots, and its whole structure be destroyed. And unrighteousness shall again be consummated on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and of violence and transgression shall prevail in a twofold degree. And when sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence and all kinds of deeds increase, and apostasy and transgression and uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from heaven upon all these. And the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on earth. In those days violence shall be cut off from its roots, and the roots of unrighteousness together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under heaven. And all the idols of the heathen shall be abandoned, and the temples burned with fire, and they shall remove them from the whole earth. And they, i.e. the heathen, shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in wrath and in grievous judgment forever. And the righteous shall arise from their sleep, and wisdom shall arise and be given unto them. And after that the roots of unrighteousness shall be cut off, and the sinners shall be destroyed by the sword, shall be cut off from the blasphemers in every place, and those who plan violence and those who commit blasphemy shall perish by the sword. And now I tell you, my sons, and show you the paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. Yea, I will show them to you again, that you may know what will come to pass. And now hearken unto me, my sons, and walk in the paths of righteousness, and walk not in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the paths of unrighteousness shall perish forever.
Soldat, you're on your own.
Chapter 93. Chapter 93. And after that Enoch both gave and said, concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of uprightness, I will speak these things. I will declare them unto revealed to me in the heavenly vision, and which I have known through the word of the holy angels, and have learnt from the heavenly tablets. And Enoch began to recount in the books inside while judgment and righteousness still endured. And after me there shall arise in the second week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung.
UAV is ready for flyover.
And in it a man shall be saved, and after it righteousness
This is
shall
Falcon
thereof.
3 UAV beginning flyover.
And after that, in the third close, a man shall be elected as the plant of righteous judgment, and his posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. And week, at its close, visions of the holy and righteous shall be seen, and a long generations, and an
UAV
enclosure
is out of
shall
fuel.
be made for them.
Enemy
And
UAV
after that,
overhead.
in the fifth week at its close, that dominion shall be built. And in the sixth week, all shall God
Got the sentry gun on station.
and in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burned with fire, and the whole race of the chosen group shall be burned. And after
Got the
that,
VTOL on
in the
station. Deploy.
apostate generation rise, and many shall be enslaved. All enslaved shall
Enemy
be
cruise missile.
and at its close,
Horseman 3-3 now on station.
that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled. And he can think and see his soul in the spirit.
Beginning sweep attack. Beginning sweep attack. Copy. Understood. Starting control of this grid. Starting control of this grid. This is Horseman heading back for a supply. Good hunting.
Righteous. And at its close,
have taken the lead.
righteousness, and a house shall be built for the great King and glory forevermore. The mankind shall look to the and after that, in the ninth week, the righteous judgment shall be revealed to the world, and all the works of the and the world shall be for destruction. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th, there shall be judgment in which he will execute vengeance against the nations. And the first death shall depart and pass away.
Enemy
And after that, there will be peace within number forever. And all shall be in goodness and righteousness, and sin shall no more be mentioned forever. Chapter 94, verse 1. Chapter 94. And now I say unto you, my sons, love righteousness and walk therein. For the paths of righteousness are worthy of acceptation. The paths of unrighteousness shall suddenly be destroyed and vanish. And to certain generation shall the paths of violence and of death be revealed. Follow them. And now I say unto you, the righteous, walk not in the paths of wickedness, nor in the paths of death, and draw not nigh to them, lest you be destroyed. But seek and choose for yourself righteousness and life, and walk in the paths of peace, and you shall live and prosper. And hold fast my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and suffer them not to be effaced from your hearts. No sinners will tempt men to evilly entreat wisdom, but no temptation. Chapter 95, verses 6 through 11. Woes for the sinners. Woe to those who build
Enemy close
unrighteousness
to strike. Take cover.
and lay deceit as the foundation, for they shall be suddenly overthrown.
Titus
You
1.
have
Earn your
trusted
victory.
in your riches. High in the days of your
How
riches.
much, bud?
Ye have committed blasphemy. Come ready for the day of slaughter, and the day of darkness, and the day of the great judgment.
Sentry guns down.
And for your fall there shall be no compassion, and your vigilance your destruction. And your righteousness in those days shall be a reproach to the saints. Chapter 95. Enoch's grief. Oh, that mine eyes were a cloud of waters, that I might weep over thee, and pour out my tears as the fall of waters. Who has permitted you to practice reproaches and wickedness? Shall overtake you, sinners. Fear not, the sinners.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Will the Lord deliver them into your hands, that ye may execute judgment? Fulminate anathemas, which cannot be reversed. Woe to you who requite your neighbor with evil, for ye shall be requited according to your deeds. Woe to you, lying in Jesus, and to those who suddenly shall ye perish. Woe to you, sinners, for ye persecute the righteous, for you shall be delivered up and persecuted for justice. Shall it for the righteous, woes for the
Молодцы,
wicked.
ребята. Well done.
Chapter 96.
Command will be pleased.
Be hopeful, ye righteous, for suddenly shall the sinners rise before you, and ye shall have lordship over them according to your children shall mount and rise as eagles, and higher than the vultures will be your nest. And you shall ascend and enter the crevices of the earth, and the clefts of the rock forever as ponies before the unrighteous. And the sirens shall sigh because of you, and weep. Fear not, ye that have sinned, for healing shall be your portion, and a bright light shall enlighten you, and the voice of rest ye shall hear from heaven. Woe unto you, ye sinners, for your riches make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners. And this fact shall be a testimony against you for a memorial of your evil deeds. Woe to you who devour the finest of the wheat, and drink wine in large bowls, and tread underfoot the lowly with your might. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for suddenly shall ye be consumed and wither away, because ye have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be a memorial against you for evil. Woe to you, ye mighty, who with might oppress the righteous, for the day of your destruction is coming. In those days many and good days shall come to the righteous, in the day of your judgment. Chapter 97. The evils in store for sinners and the possessors of unrighteous wealth. Chapter 97. Believe ye righteous that the sinners will become ashamed, and perish in the day of unrighteousness. Be it known unto you, ye sinners, that the Most High is mindful of your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over your destruction. What will ye do, ye sinners? And whither will ye flee on that day of judgment, when ye hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? Yea, ye shall fare like unto them, against whom this word shall be a testimony. Ye have been companions of sinners. And in those days the prayer of the righteous shall reach unto the Lord, and for you the days of your judgment shall come. And all the words of your unrighteousness shall be read out before the great Holy One, and your faces shall be covered with shame, and he will reject every work which is grounded on unrighteousness. Woe to you, ye sinners, who live on the mid-ocean and on the dry land, whose remembrance is evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and
Free-for-all.
gold in unrighteousness and
Eliminate all
say,
targets of
"We've become rich
opportunity."
with riches and health pleasure, and have acquired everything we have desired. And now let us do what we propose, for we have gathered silver, and our granaries are brimful as with water. Yea, and like water, they shall flow away. For your riches shall not abide, but speedily ascend from you. For ye have acquired it all in unrighteousness, and you shall be given over to a great curse. End of section 15. Section 16 of the Book of Enoch, translated by Robert Henry Charles. This Book recording is in the public domain. Chapter 98. Self-indulgence of sinners.
Y'all see,
Sin
if you got a
originated
strike
by
on
man.
some footprint, don't go for it.
Chapter 98.
Come on,
And now I
talk.
swear unto you,
Good.
to the wise and to the foolish, for you shall have manifold experiences of and colored garments
Man,
and
get on, yo, ain't got to
and in silver and in gold and in
Man.
purple and in splendor and in food they shall be poured out as water. Therefore they shall be wanting in doctrine and wisdom, and they shall perish thereby together. Their splendor, and in shame and in slaughter and in great destitution.
What?
Their
Alright,
spirits shall be
come
cast
back
into the depths of fire. I have sworn
back.
unto you, ye sinners, as a mountain has not become a hill has not become the handmaid of a woman, upon the earth.
Niggas from Southfield,
Of
man.
himself has created, and under a great curse shall they fall who commit it. And barrenness has not been given to the woman, but on account of the deed of her own hands she dies without children.
Enemy
I have
UAV
sworn
overhead.
unto you, ye sinners, by the Holy Great One, that all your evil deeds are revealed in the heavens, and that none of your deeds of oppression are covered and hidden. And do not think in your spirit, nor say in your heart that you do not know, and that you do not see that every sin is every day.
Enemy cluster strike incoming. Take cover.
From henceforth ye know that all your oppression Christ is removed every day. And so good hap shall not be. And now know ye that ye are prepared. Wherefore do not hope to live, ye sinners, but ye shall depart and die. Ye know no hope, for ye are prepared for the day of the great judgment, for the day of tribulation and great shame.
We've got a UAV on station, ready for flyover.
Whence have ye good things to eat and to drink and to be
UAV
filled?
entering the AO.
From all the good things which the Lord the Most High has placed in abundance on the earth.
Hey, who got a UAV
Therefore
for a
ye
week?
shall have no peace.
Let me know what it is.
Woe to you who love the deeds of righteousness. Wherefore do ye hope for good hap unto yourselves?
No,
Know that ye shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous.
UAV in bingo fuel.
You who
Enemy
rejoice
personal
in the
radar in the
tribulation
air.
of the righteous, for no one shall down. Woe to you who set up not the word of God, shall have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and godless words, for they write down lies that men may hear them and act godlessly towards their neighbor. Therefore they shall have no peace, but die as such. Chapter 99. Woe to the godless, the lawbreakers. Evil plight of sinners in the last days, further woes. Chapter 99. Woe to you who work righteousness and no happy life shall be yours. Woe to them who pervert the words of uprightness, and transgress the eternal law, and transform themselves into what they were not, into sinners. They shall be trodden underfoot upon the earth. In those days make ready ye righteousness, and place them as a testimony before the angels, that they may place the sin of the sinners for a memorial before the nation. In those days the nations shall be stirred up, and in those days the destitute shall go and they shall abandon them, so that their children shall flourish through them. They shall abandon their children that are still sucklings, and not return to them, and shall have no children, ye sinners, that sin is prepared for a day of
Ah,
unceasing
my
bloodshed.
gun, no, y'all
And they
playing.
who worship stones and grave images
All
of
of you,
and clay, and those who worship demons and all kinds of powers, according to knowledge, shall get no manner of and they shall become godless by reason of the folly of their hearts, and their eyes shall be blinded through the fear of their hearts, and through visions in their dreams. Through these they shall become godless and fearful. They shall
Keep
have
it
wrought
up.
all their work, and shall have worshipped a stone, therefore in
Look at
it.
that.
But in those days, blessed are
Yeah, I
all
really
they
got
who
digging it.
accept the words of wisdom and understand them, and observe the paths of the Most High, and walk in the path of his righteousness, and become not godless. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbors, for you shall be slain in judgment. Woe to you who make deceitful and false measures, and to them who cause bitterness on the earth, for they shall thereby be utterly consumed. Build their houses through the grievous toil of others, and all their building materials are
Enemy
the
personal
bricks and
radar in the
stones
air.
of sin. I tell you, ye shall have no peace. Who reject the measure and eternal heritage of their fathers, and whose souls for they shall have no
I'm
rest.
going right
Woe
along.
to them who work unrighteousness and help oppression. He shall cast down your glory and bring affliction on your hearts, and shall arouse his fierce indignation and destroy you all with the sword, and all the holy and righteous shall receive judgment of the fallen angels, the safety of the righteous, further woes for the sinners. Chapter 100. The fathers together with their sons shall be smitten, and brothers one with another shall fall in death, till the streams flow with their blood.
Hey, go.
A man shall
No,
not withhold his hand from slaying his sons, and his sons' sons.
bread.
And the sinner shall not withhold his hand from his honored
I always
father,
knew.
from dawn till sundown. Shall be submerged.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
In those days the angel shall send to gather together into one place all those who have done sin.
Hey,
And
shot,
the Most
nothing.
High will rise on that day of judgment to execute great judgment amongst sinners.
Enemy cluster strike incoming. Take cover.
To guard them as the eyes
Enemy personal radar in the air.
and the children of the recognize that their riches shall not be able to save them from their sins. Woe to you sinners on the day of strong anguish. Righteous fire. You shall be rewarded according to your works. Woe to you, ye obstinate of heart, who watch in order to devise wickedness. Therefore shall fear come upon you, and there shall be none to help you. Woe to you, sinners,
Less than a minute.
on account of the deeds of your hearts, which your godlessness has wrought.
I'm in good
And
place.
know ye that from the angels he will account your deeds in
I
heaven.
think
Because upon the earth
Enemy chopper gunner on approach. 30 seconds. Left up.
in those days you shall not be able to see before them. Chapter 101.
Tactical, well done.
Fear of God. All nature fears him, but not the
I heard
sinners.
that.
Chapter 101. Observe the heaven, ye children of heaven, and every work of the Most High, and fear ye him, and work no evil in his presence. If he closes the windows of heaven, and withholds the rain and the dew from descending on the earth on your account, what will ye do then? And if he sends his anger upon you because of your deeds, ye cannot petition him, for ye spake proud and insolent words against his righteousness. Therefore ye shall have no peace. And see ye not the sailors of the ships, how their ships are tossed to and fro by the waves, and are shaken by the winds, and are in sore trouble? And therefore do they fear, because all their goodly possessions go upon the sea with them, and they have evil forebodings of heart that the sea will swallow them, and they will perish therein. Are not the entire sea, and all its waters, and all its movements, the work of the Most High, and has he not set limits to its doings, and confined it throughout by the sand? And at his reproof it is afraid and dries up, and all its fish die, and all that is in it. But ye sinners that are on the earth, fear him not. Has he not made the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein? Who has given understanding and wisdom to everything that moves on the earth and in the sea? Do not the sailors of the ships fear the sea? Yet sinners fear not the Most High. Chapter 102. Terrors of the Day of Judgment. The adverse fortunes of the righteous on the earth. Chapter 102. In those days, when he hath brought a grievous fire upon you, whither will you flee, and where will you find deliverance? And when he launches forth his word against you, will you not be affrighted and fear? And all the luminaries shall be affrighted with great fear, and all the earth shall be affrighted and tremble and be alarmed. And all the angels shall execute their commands, and shall seek to hide themselves from the presence of the great glory. And all the children of earth shall tremble and quake. And ye sinners shall be cursed forever, and ye shall have no peace. Fear ye not, ye souls of the righteous, and be hopeful, ye that have died in righteousness. And grieve not if your soul into Sheol has descended in grief, and that in your life your body fared not according to your goodness. But wait for the day of the judgment of sinners, and for the day of cursing and chastisement. And yet when you die, the sinners speak over you. As we die, so die the righteous, and what benefit do they reap for their deeds? Behold, even as we, so do they die in grief and darkness. And what have they more than we? From henceforth we are equal. And what will they receive, and what will they see forever? Behold, they too have died, and henceforth forever they shall see no light. I tell you, ye sinners, ye are content to eat and drink and rob and sin and strip men naked, and acquire wealth and see good days. Have ye seen the righteous, how their end falls out, that no manner of violence is found in them till their death? Nevertheless they perished, and became as though they had not been, and their spirits descended into Sheol and tribulation. Chapter 103. Different destinies of the righteous and the sinners. Fresh objections of the sinners. Chapter 103. Now therefore
Free
I
for
swear
all.
to you, the righteous, by the
Sold
glory
out,
of
you're
the
on
great
your own.
and honored and mighty one, in dominion and by his greatness I swear to you. I know a mystery, and have read the heavenly tablets, and have seen the holy books, and have found written therein and inscribed that all goodness and joy and glory are prepared and written down for the spirits of those who have died in righteousness, and that manifold good shall be given to you in recompense for your labors, and that your lot is abundantly beyond the lot of men. And the spirits of you who have died in righteousness shall live and rejoice, and their spirits shall not faint, nor their memorial unto all the generations of the world. Wherefore no longer woe to you, ye sinners, when ye have died, and those who are like you say regarding you, blessed are the sinners, they have seen all their days, and have not seen tribulation or murder in their life.
UAV is ready for flyover.
That their souls
This is
will be
Falcon
made
3-0.
to descend
Copy. Beginning fire.
and into darkness and chains and a burning flame where there is and the great judgment shall be for all the generations of the world. Woe to you, you have no peace. Send
UAV is out of fuel. Returning to resupply.
and experienced every trouble and met and have become few and are
Enemy
few
cruise missile.
now. And we have been destroyed and have been tortured and destroyed, and not hoped to see life from day to day. We hoped to be the head and have become the tail. We've toiled laboriously and had no and we have become the food of the sinners and the unrighteous, and they have laid their yoke upon us. They have had dominion over us that hated us and smote us, and to those that hated us we have bowed our necks. We desired to get away from them that we might escape and be at rest, but found no place whereinto we should flee and be safe from them. And our complaint to the rulers in our tribulation, and cried out against those who devoured us. But they did not attend to our cries and would not. And they helped those who helped us, and devoured us, and those who made us few. And they concealed our oppression, and they did not bring us the yoke of those that devoured us, and dispersed us, and murdered us. They concealed that they had lifted up their hands against us. Chapter 104. Assurances given to the righteous, admonitions to sinners, and the falsifiers of the word of uprightness. Chapter 100. I swear unto you that in heaven it is before the glory of the Great One, and your names are written before the glory of the Great One. Be hopeful. For a time you will put to shame through ill. You shall shine, and you shall be seen, and before the and in your cry
Enemy cruise missile.
and it shall appear to you. For all your tribulation shall be and on all who help to those who plunder. Be hopeful, and cast not away your hopes, for ye shall have great joy as the angels of heaven. What shall ye be obliged to do? You shall not have to hide on the day of the great judgment, and you shall not be found as sinners, and the eternal judgment shall be far off. And now, fear not, ye righteous.
Enemy cruise missile.
When you see the sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways, in their violence. For ye shall
Enemy shield turret on the field.
hosts of heaven. Ye sinners say, all our sins shall not be searched out and be written down. Nevertheless, they shall write down all your sins every day. Show unto you light and darkness, day and night, see all your sins. And alter not the words of uprightness, nor charge with lying the Holy Great One, nor take account of your idols. For all your lying and all your godlessness issue not in righteousness. And now I know this mystery, that sinners who alter and pervert the words of righteousness in many ways, and deceive wicked words. But when they write that and do not change, but write them all down truthfully, all that I first testified concerning them. Then I know that books will be given to the righteous and the wise to become a cause of joy, and to them shall the books be given, and then shall all the righteous who have learned there from all the paths of uprightness be recompensed. Chapter 1. In those days the Lord bade them to summon and testify to the children of their wisdom. Show it unto them, for ye are their guides, and a recompense over the whole earth. For I forever in the paths of and ye shall have peace.
Oh, stuck his ass.
End of section 6. By CJ
Yeah, thanks for that.
Charles.
overhead.
And his body was
Enemy cruise missile.
and red as the bloom of a rose, and the hair of and his eyes beautiful. And when he opened his eyes, he lighted up the whole house like the sun. He arose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and conversed with the Lord of righteousness. His father remembers his and he said unto him, I have forgotten and unlike man, the sons of the God of heaven. He is not like us, and his eyes
Thrown
are
down.
as the rays of the sun, and his countenance. He is not
UAV is ready for flyover. Enemy Wilson deployed.
This is
Falcon 3. UAV beginning flyover.
I am here to teach them the Father and learn from him the truth. And when the people
Wait,
heard the
show
words
your
of the
face.
Returning to resupply.
And he answered and said, because of a great cause of anxiety have I come to thee, and because of a distressed vision have I approached. And now, my father, hear me. Unto Lamech my son there hath been born a son. His nature is not
I
like
heard you,
man's
future
nature.
Christopher
And
Dorner
the
looking
color of
at
his
us. I
body
heard
is
you.
white as a rose. And the hair of his head is whiter than scarlet wool. And his eyes are like the rays of the sun. And he opened his eyes, and thereupon lighted up the whole and opened his mouth, and blessed the Lord of heaven. And his father Lamech became afraid, and fled to me, and did not believe that he was sprung from him, but that he
UAV is ready for flyover.
come to thee, that thou mayest make known to me the truth.
This is Falcon 3.
Yo, Scott, get that
Flyover.
And this in a vision, and make
We are out of time.
and behold, they commit sin and transgress the law, and have united themselves with women and commit sin.
UAV is out of fuel.
Children by them.
Got a sentry gun on station.
To the spirit, but according to the flesh.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
And the earth shall be cleansed from
Got a VTOL on station. Ready to deploy.
Horseman 3-3 now on station.
And this son who has been
Mission
born
accomplished.
unto you shall
Regroup.
be
Return
left
to
by
base.
Watch this last
and
kill.
his 3 children. When all mankind that are on the earth shall die.
Should have flew off the
That
balcony.
he who has been born is in truth his son. For he shall be left to you, and he and his sons shall be saved from the destruction which shall come upon the earth on account of all the sin and all the unrighteousness which shall be consummated on the earth in his days. Than that which was first consummated on the earth. I know the mysteries of the holy ones, for he, the Lord, showed me and informed me, and I have read them in the heavenly tablets. Chapter 107. And I saw written on them that generation upon generation shall transgress, till a generation of righteousness arises, and transgression is destroyed, and sin passes away from the earth, and all manner of good comes upon it. And now, my son, go and make known to thy son Lamech that this son, which has been born, is in truth his son, and that this is no lie. And when Methuselah had heard the words of his father Enoch, for he had shown to him everything in secret, he returned and showed them to him, and called the name of that son Noah, for he will comfort the earth after all the destruction. Chapter 108. An appendix to the book of Enoch. Chapter 108. Another book which Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah, and for those who will come after him, and keep the law in the last days. Ye who have done good shall wait for those days till an end is made of those who work evil. and an end of the might of the transgressors. And wait ye indeed till sin has passed away, for their names shall be blotted out of the book of life, and out of the holy books, and their seed shall be destroyed forever, and their spirits shall be slain, and they shall cry and make lamentation in a place that is a chaotic wilderness. And in the fire shall they burn, for there is no earth there. And I saw there something like an invisible cloud, for by reason of its depth I could not look over. And I saw a flame of fire blazing brightly, and things like shining mountains circling and sweeping to and fro. And I asked one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto him, What is this shining thing? For it is not heaven, but only the flame of a blazing fire, and the voice of weeping and crying and lamentation and strong pain. And he said unto me, This place which thou seest is the spirits of sin, of those who pervert
Free
everything
for all.
that the Lord hath spoken.
Soldat, you're on your own.
Prophets, even the things that shall be. Written and inscribed above them in heaven, in order that the angels may read them, and know that which shall fall to sinners, and the spirits of the humble, and been recompensed by God. Those who have been ashamed by wicked men. Neither gold nor silver, nor any other in the world, but gave over their bodies to torture. Who since they came into being longed not after earthly food, but regarded everything as a passing breath, and lived accordingly. Their spirits were not pure, so that they should bless his name. And all the blessings destined for them I have recounted in the book. Beside them their recompense, because they have been found to be such as loved heaven more than their lives, though they were trodden under foot of men, abuse and reviling from them, and were put to shame. I will summon the spirits of the good who belong to the generation of light, and I will transform those who were born in darkness, who in the flesh recompense with such honor as their faithfulness. And I will bring forth in shining light those who and I will seek each one of them. They shall be resplendent in times without number. For righteousness is the judgment of God. For to the faithful he will give faithfulness. And they shall see those who were born into darkness led into darkness, while the righteous shall be resplendent. And the sinners shall cry aloud and see them resplendent, and they indeed will go where days and seasons are prescribed.
Enemy UAV overhead.
End of the book of Enoch.
Latest Audiobooks is excited to partner with audiobooks.com. Sign up for a free 30-day trial and get your
Enemy cluster strike. Take cover. UAV is ready for flyover.
free audiobook today.
This is Fox. UAV beginning flyover. Out of fuel, returning to resupply.
And in that place, and righteousness shall be and elect shall be without number before him. And all the righteous and elect before him shall be strong. And their lips extol the name of the Lord of spirits, and righteousness shall never cease, and uprightness shall never fail before him. There I wish to dwell. And there heretofore hath been my portion. For so has it been established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. In those days I praised and extolled the name of the Lord of spirits with amazing praises, because he hath
UAV is ready for flyover.
I blessed him and praised him, saying, Blessed is he, and may he be blessed from the beginning and forevermore. And before him
Only
there
a
is
few
no
ahead of you
sea.
now.
Copy.
What is
UAV
forever
beginning
will remain
flyover.
from generation unto generation.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Those who sleep not bless thee. They stand before thy glory and bless, praise, and extol, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of spirits. He filleth the earth with his spirit. My eyes saw all. They stand before him and bless and
UAV
say,
is out of
Blessed
fuel.
be thou,
Returning
and
to
blessed be the
resupply.
name of the Lord forever and ever. And my face was changed, for I could no longer behold. Chapter 40 to 41, 2. Chapter 40. And after that I saw thousands of thousands and 10,000 I saw a multitude beyond number and reckoning, who stood before the Lord of spirits. And on the I saw four presences, different from those that sleep not, and I learned their names. For the angel that went with me made me and showed me all the holy things. The praises of those four presences as they uttered praises.
Enemy cluster strike. Take cover. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile.
I was like, what the?
We're down, not dead. Let's move.
Get out of the corner with your big ass.
UAV is ready for flyover. Enemy UAV overhead.
You're a bitch, Goods.
Enough of this. Fall back. We will return.
Trash.
Yeah, you
Oh,
are trash
yo,
with that big old
trash.
gun in the corner like that, bud.
Trash.
Look at
Crying, bro. Stop crying.
That's
Trash.
the only reason he won is because he got that gun.
Trash.
Just sit
Look,
there
I got
and
the
hold
better
on,
KD.
dudes.
Trash.
Yeah, you sat in the corner, trash.
is before the Lord of glory. Shall all say with one voice, Blessed is he, and may the name of the Lord of spirits be blessed forever and ever. All who sleep not above in heaven shall bless him, and all the holy ones who are in heaven shall bless him, and all the elect who
Same
dwell
guy.
in the garden of life. And every spirit of light who is able to bless and glorify and extol and hallow thy blessed name, and all flesh shall beyond measure glorify and bless thy name forever and ever. For great is the mercy of the Lord of spirits, and he
Yeah, I
is
hope that camper's
long-suffering,
still in
and
here.
all
Or
his
I think he
works
left.
and all that he has created he has revealed to the righteous and elect in the name of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 62. Judgment of the kings and the mighty, blessedness of the righteous. Chapter 62. And thus the Lord commanded the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, and said, Open your eyes and lift up your horns if you are able to recognize the elect one. And the Lord of spirits seated him on the throne of his glory, and the spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him.
Free
And the
for
word
all.
of his mouth slays all the
You're on your
sinners,
own.
and all the unrighteous are destroyed. And there shall stand up in that day all the kings and the mighty, and the exalted, and those who hold the earth. And they shall see and recognize how he sits on the throne of his glory. Before him, and no lying word is spoken before him. As on a woman in travail, and she has pain in bringing forth. When her child enters the mouth of the womb, and she has pain in bringing forth. And one portion of them shall be taken, and they shall be terrified, and they shall be downcast in tent. Shall bless and glorify and extol him who rules over all, who was hidden. For from the beginning the Son of Man was hidden, and the Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the elect. And the holy shall be sown, and all the elect shall stand before him on that day. And all the kings and the mighty and the exalted,
Enemy
and those
UAV
who rule
overhead.
the earth, shall fall down before him, and worship and set their hope upon that man, and the mercy of his hands. Nevertheless, that Lord of spirits, that they shall hastily go forth from his presence, and their faces darkness shall deeper on their faces, and he will deliver them to and to vengeance upon them, because they have oppressed his children and his elect. They shall be responsible for the righteous and for his elect. They shall rejoice in the Lord, because the wrath of the Lord of spirits resteth upon them, and his sword is drunk with blood. And the righteous and elect shall be saved on that day. They shall never thenceforth see the face of the sinners and the righteous. And the Lord of spirits will abide over them, and with that Son of Man they shall eat and lie down and rise up. And the righteous and elect shall have the
Shotgun too?
and cease to be of downcast countenance. And they shall have been clothed with garments of glory, and these shall be the garments of life from the Lord of spirits. And your garments shall not grow old, nor your glory. Chapter 63. The unveiling repentance of the kings and the mighty. Chapter 63. In those those who possess the earth implore him to grant them a little respite from his angels of punishment to whom they were delivered, that they might fall down and worship before the Lord of spirits, and confess their sins, and they shall bless and glorify the Lord of spirits. Blessed is the Lord of spirits and the Lord of kings, and the Lord of the mighty, and the Lord of glory, and the Lord of wisdom, and splendor, from generation to generation, and thy glory forever and ever. These are all thy spirits and innumerable, and thy righteousness is beyond reckoning. They have now learnt is king over all kings, and they shall say, Would that we had rest to glorify and now we long for a little rest, but find it not. We follow hard upon.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Vanished from before us, and darkness is our dwelling place forever. on account of our works, and all our sins are reckoned up in righteousness. Now they shall say unto themselves, our souls are full of unrighteous gain. But it does not prevent us from descending from the midst thereof into the third windshield. And after that, and shame before that Son of Man, and they shall be driven from his presence, and abide before his face in their midst. Thus spake the Lord of Spirits. This is the word of the Lord, who presented the mighty and the kings
Get out of
and
the
the
corner,
exalted,
bro.
and the
I'm out over there.
Chapter 60.
You know what's taking now?
Vision of the Lord. Secret places. In that place, I heard the voice of the angel saying, these are the angels who descended to the earth.
We're down but not out. Let's go.
To the children of men, and seduce the children of men into the many. Section 8. Section 8 of the Book of Enoch, translated by Robert Henry Charles. Is in the public domain. Chapter 65. Enoch foretells to Noah the deluge and his own preservation. Chapter 65. And in those days its destruction is come. He rose from thence and cried aloud to his grandfather.
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
Noah said 3 times with an embittered Hear me. And I said unto him, tell me what it is that is falling out on the earth, that the earth is in such evil plight. Lest perchance I shall perish with it. And thereupon there was a great commotion on the earth, and a voice said, and I fell on my face. And Enoch, my grandfather, came and stood by me. Their ruin is accomplished because they have learned all the secrets of the angels, and all the things, and all their powers, the most secret ones, and sorcery,
We've got a UAV on station, ready for flyover.
and how silver is produced.
UAV entering the AO.
And how some
Enemy UAV on there.
like the first. It is the fountain that produces them, and in angels. And after that, my grandfather Enoch took hold of me on my hand and raised me up and said unto me, Go, for I have asked the Lord.
Be advised, single fuel. RTB for resupply.
He said unto me, because of their unrighteousness, their judgment has been determined upon and shall not be withheld. I searched out and learned the earth and those and these they have forever, because they have shown them what was hidden, and they are the damned. But as for thee, my son, the Lord of Spirits knows that thou art guiltless of this reproach concerning the secrets. He will to be among the holy, and will preserve thee amongst those who dwell on the earth. And as destined thy righteous and holy without Chapter 66. Of the waters hidden to hold them in check. Chapter 66. And after that he showed me the angels of punishment who are prepared to come and let loose from the earth in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who abide and dwell on the earth. And the Lord of Spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth that they should not cause the waters for those angels were over the powers of the waters. And I went away from the presence of Enoch. Chapter 67. God tells to Noah places of punishment of the angels. Chapter 67. And in those days the word of God came unto me. When lot has come up a lot of love and uprightness. And now
Less than a minute.
are making a wooden building, and when they have completed the task, I will place my hand upon it to preserve it. And there shall
Learn from the loss. Come back harder.
and a change shall set in, so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. And I will make fast thy seed before me, those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters, and that valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word. For the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, This judgment wherewith the angels are judged is the testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. Because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Chapter 68. Michael and Raphael, astonished at the severity of the judgment. Chapter 68. And after that my grandfather Enoch gave me the teaching of all the secrets in the book and the parables, which had been given to him, and he put them together for me in the words of the book of the parables. And on that day Michael answered Raphael and said, The power of the Spirit transports, and makes me to tremble, because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets and the judgment of the angels. Who can endure the severe judgment which has been executed, and before which they melt away? And Michael answered again and said to Raphael, Who is he whose heart is not softened concerning it, and whose reins are not troubled by this word of judgment that has gone forth upon them, because of those who have thus led them out? And it came to pass, when he stood before the Lord of spirits, Michael said thus to Raphael, I will not take their part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits has been angry with them, because they do as if they were the Lord. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever and ever, for neither angel nor man shall have his portion in it, but alone they have received their judgment forever and ever. Chapter 69.
You're on your own, soldier. Enemy UAV overhead.
Chapter 69. They shall terrify and behold, the names of those angels, and these are their names. The first of them is Samjaza, the second Artaxerxes, and the third Arnon. The fifth Uriel, the seventh Danjal, the eighth the ninth the 10th Azazel, the 11th Armaros, the 12th the 14th Hananel, the 15th Turel, Senabasiel, the 17th Jetrel, the 18th Tamael, the 19th Turel, the 20th Rumael, the 21st Azazel, and these are the 50 and over 10. The name of the first Jekron, that is the one who led astray all the sons of God, and he imported to the holy sons of God evil counsel, and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. And the third was named Gadriel. He it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve, and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail, and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. And from his hand they have proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. And the fourth was named Penemiel. He taught the children of men the bitter and the sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper. And thereby many sinned from eternity to eternity and until this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. For men were created exactly like the angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroys everything, could not have taken hold of them. But through this their knowledge they are perishing, and through this power it is consuming me. And the fifth